If I'm a standing seam metal roofing contractor buying sheet and coil from somebody like Sheffield Metals, what's the top advantages of bundling multiple orders when I buy my material?
But when we say bundling, Thad, what we're really saying is just planning ahead, right? Looking a little bit into the future, putting all of your orders together. So what are you gonna get out of that? You're gonna get a little better lead times because we're gonna be able to produce it more efficiently. You're gonna get a lot better freight rates. You're gonna get better quality material landing at your doorstep because of the way we've been able to ship it to you. And ultimately, you're gonna have a better product.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Metal Roofing Channel. I'm Thad Barnette. Today we're talking about bundling orders, bundling projects together to save on lead times, shipping costs, and help you plan for the future for your projects. And today I've got Brad from the Sheffield sales team. Thanks for being here, Brad.
Thanks, Thad. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so this is something that we're going to discuss for Sheffield Metals customers, people that are buying sheet and coil from a metal supplier for standing seam metal roofing, and how to kind of plan out your jobs and bundle orders and save on some shipping. So talk to me first about the bundling process. What are we actually discussing there? And then what are the benefits of bundling orders?
Yeah, so bundling up orders, I mean, let's face it, if you're going to bundle up orders, you're going to be helping your sheet and coil supplier plan a little bit. If there's a lot coming in, we need to know what products to have on the shelf, painted, ready to go, right? So that's number one. Number two would be our production. What do we have on the line? What blades are we using? What widths of coil are we cutting down? If you can bundle orders and we can plan ahead, hugely helpful to our production team. Freight is a massive consideration. Freight, number one, cost. Freight cost, if you're piecemealing out order by order, little orders at a time, that's gonna get pretty expensive. But another consideration that we should take into account is the ability to use a dedicated flatbed or hotshot truck versus LTL. Dedicated trucks, you tend to get a lot less damage than you would on an LTL truck. Ultimately, you're getting a better product that lands on your doorstep.
Yeah, so let's talk about how to actually bundle orders. What are we talking about here, and what should our customers be thinking about when they're bundling these orders together?
Well, I think it's planning on your side, right? I mean, quite literally, you're looking ahead from more than just day to day to day. You're looking into the future, seeing what projects you have coming up, and you're trying to put these things all together, submit all your POs at one time. So we're ensuring that what's coming to you is maybe more than just one project at a time.
Sure. Okay, so if I look ahead and I see I've got 3 different projects, 2 of them I'm gonna need 20-inch coils, and 1 of them I'm gonna need 16-inch wide coil. I want to try to put those 20s together and try to make it easier on the supplier. How does that work?
It can come in 3 different POs. If you have 3 different projects and 3 different POs, that's quite all right with us. We just like to see the visibility of knowing what's coming down the tracks.
Okay, so one of the big considerations is, if I've got small projects, every now and again that I'm purchasing and I'm putting in an order, and then all of a sudden I drop a massive metal order on the supplier that is not, my usual shtick, right? Mm-hmm. That is something that could increase my lead times or potentially put some strain on the supply chain.
That's right.
So talk to me about that, and how far should I be looking out? When should I let my metal supplier know and communicating with them on that?
The easy answer is to say, as soon as you have the commitment from your customer or the project you're gonna be doing this job, start being in contact with your metal supplier. Let us know so we can start to plan. It does put a strain on our supply chain. We might have enough product for that one specific order, but we might have 14 other orders in the queue for that and that we couldn't fulfill. So as soon as you can do that, the better. But generally, if we have 3 or 4 weeks notice on a great big large project, we should be okay as long as it's a standard stock color.
Sure. Tell me more about the freight that you mentioned earlier, LTL versus the dedicated truck. Why does that matter? What does that mean? And what should our customers be thinking about with that?
So LTLs, just as a general rule, I mean, they're going to make multiple stops along the way. They're going to hit different cross docks as they go from point A to point B. It leads just to a lot of potential damage on our coil and sheets versus if we have a dedicated hot shot truck or a dedicated flatbed truck, that product can sit on there, go from point A to point B untouched, unscathed, and saves a lot of potential damage.
Okay, yeah, so we just need basically enough metal to basically make it make sense to have that hot shot truck.
That's right. Yeah, because of course you're not gonna put one coil on a hot shot truck. You'd spend a fortune doing that.
Sure. And what about accessories? You know, how does Sheffield kind of help save money with bundling accessory orders and shipping those out with Coil?
Absolutely. Every job needs accessories, whether it's underlayment or pipe boots or sealants, whatever the case may be. So no need to pay freight twice. Put accessories on a separate order. Put those in with your sheet and coil order. It goes on the same truck. You get it at the same time, and then you have it when you need it.
Yeah, awesome. So we've talked about risks and challenges with not bundling orders. We've talked about the benefits, but what are some common mistakes that you see when people do bundle orders, and kind of how can they avoid those?
Yeah, I think a lot of the mistakes sometimes happen when you're a customer that has multiple locations, multi-sites. You want to just dot all the I's, cross all the T's, make sure that your quantities are right on the right PO to the right ship to. We don't want to be shipping to one address when you meant for it to go 200 miles away to a different address. When you're doing that, there's a little more room for error. Just make sure that everything is buttoned up on your POs.
Yeah, communication is huge. You know, don't make assumptions. Make sure that you're clear and, you know, provide that clarity to us as the supplier to make sure that we can get the right products at the right location.
And, you know, we've talked about the idea of customer-supplier relationships, having that good communication, that knowing each other's business. And if we know your business, we know what's coming down the tracks.
Yep.
We know what projects you have working. We can assist in that.
Sure. Yeah, it's that true partnership, right?
100%.
We're part of their team.
That's right.
Yeah. Anything else that we missed?
I think we've hit it.
All right. Well, thanks, Brad. I really appreciate the info.
Yeah, glad to be here, Thad.
If you've got any questions, comment down below. Visit us at sheffieldmetals.com. Otherwise, subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel. As always, I'm Thad Barnette. We'll catch you next time.